It never works. Every time. It never works the first time. Also, welcome! Welcome to the stream. Is it squished? Please say it's not squished. Please say it's not streaming in vertical. I don't know why it did it that one time, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did it again. But if it's not squished, I'm good. But yes, welcome to the live stream. How have I been doing? I've been doing all right. It's been pretty crazy. I got shuffled around like 3 different departments at work because it's tax season. That's where I work. So woo. But now we're heading out of that. So hopefully, knock on wood, that things will maybe be less crazy. Hopefully, probably, maybe not. Hey, I get paid the same no matter which department I'm in, so I'm not really too concerned about anything. So as long as everything works out, I'm happy for it. Like it works out, and that's all that matters. But yeah, hopefully. My track record for like the past 5 years does not help my case in any way, shape, or form. But hopefully I'll change that. I hate how you've been getting less and less vids from me as the years progress. I want to go back to like 2019 where I was posting so many videos a year. Like the fact that I might have been catching up to V was a possibility. V's a little bit farther ahead than I am right now, but I don't know. I could still do it. It could still happen. I don't mean to dodge. I don't dodge anyone in DMs. I see the DMs. I open them. Then I get busy with something because I'm usually opening them at work on break. Don't have time to respond. And then since that little icon disappears, I'm like, okay, I'm all caught up on everything now. My brain, I hate it so much sometimes. Hold on. Let me notify everyone else that I'm here. We're live. We're living it up in here. Perfect. Yes, welcome, Pensive. Welcome, Demo. Yeah, sure. Speech 100. I haven't messaged you in a year. I swear I've messaged you since then. Hold on. I'm checking our DMs right now. Let's see. Yeah, I messaged you 6 months ago. I mean, that's not great, but it's not a year yet. You're making me feel so bad. Welcome, Spartan. Welcome to the live stream. No, I'm slowly working through my craziness and tendencies and trying to not see any of my notifications before I know I can respond to them. So not on break, maybe on lunch. Half a year isn't as bad as a full year, in my opinion. Also, I had someone describe. I had someone call out and describe perfectly what being friends with me is like. And it's like an outdoor cat. You see each other and you have fun with them, and then they disappear for a month or two. and then you don't see hide nor hair of them, and then they come back and they act like nothing's like they haven't been gone that long. That is exactly what I am. Welcome, Farfella. And welcome, V. It's been far too long. And I'm going to try and make these a more regular occurrence. Which it's funny that I'm like, I'm going to make these a regular. I'm going to try and make these a regular occurrence because, like, they might not be at this time. I'm going to try an experiment in a little bit to see which times work better for me, so I can, because it'll either be a stream at this time, probably with less frequency, or stream later and or earlier at a higher frequency. And I'm going to see which times might work best for that. Because 4 to 6 my time is sort of was really great when I first started doing this stuff. But it just and when I had a 3-day weekend, so I could be like, okay, whole day to streaming, and then I can still take care of his stuff. Now I only have 2 days for the weekend. I pretty much have to be like, okay, streaming will take up the entirety of Saturday. Can't plan anything around it because I'm too tired after streaming to do anything else. Maybe I'll build up a tolerance to that now that too much time sitting. Let's see. But will get back for me at this? Probably. Knowing you all, probably, yeah. I mean, 'tis only been 300 years. No, I streamed back in January. It's only been 5 months rounded down, and I'm rounding down to make myself feel better. But yeah, so I'm going to try experimenting a little bit more. Funny thing is, I'm doing this right when I'm about to start a podcast with a couple of local friends over here. So who knows? Maybe doing that thing regularly will get me to do this thing regularly. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. I've been in spitting distance of V's of the ending, so V had to catch up with me, but now I'm struggling to catch up with V. But yeah, it's good to be back. Good to see everyone again, and thank you all so much for sticking along with here. I probably should change. I'm just looking at the chat, and it's really hard to see you guys. That dark of a gray on this blue of a background. Hold on. How to make you how to make y'all stand out a little bit better? Can I? Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying something. It might not work. Let's try a topaz yellow. And we'll see how. Yeah, that. Yeah. Yeah. Volume's a little low. Okay, I'll crank it up. Let's see. That better? Hopefully it's better. I also found out that I've been I didn't need to have a piece of equipment in front of my face for this whole time, because another piece of equipment I had in front of my face did it the entire time anyway. So I just had it double up. So now it should be a lot better, hopefully. I don't have to quiet myself down as much these days. V is holding back on posting new chapters because he thinks you'll never catch up to him. You gotta prove him wrong, lad. Oh, I know. I definitely have to. Okay. I can crank it up a bit more. So let me know if it needs to go up or down, left, right, or center. Uh, but yeah. And it's kind of funny is that I think it's okay now. Perfect. Love to hear it. If it gets any quieter or if you experience some weirdness, let me know. Because things sometimes don't work, and I would like them to work. I hopefully get all this to work first try. Probably not, but hopefully. Does that mean I have to lock him in the streaming closet to get V to write in the basement? It's possible, but the thing is not the streaming bit, it's the editing bit. Because the editing bit takes much longer than the streaming bit. So actually, I could give y'all a choice. Would you rather me edit the the next chapter on air, or would you rather me read the next chapter? Because I'll leave the choice up to you, chat. Because I'm perfectly happy sitting here doing it either way. So I'll leave it up to y'all. It's kind of funny is that I started streaming out to get myself more motivated to keep on recording chapters. And the hardest part is not the recording bit, it's the editing bit. Feel like we're a distraction regardless, but I like reading. I like reading too. Well, thing is that it takes really long to read, especially with all the distractions in chat, which I absolutely love. Uh, but editing takes about just as long, if not longer. Like even for like a 15-minute video that I post, it probably took about an hour to edit that because the and hopefully I took care of it with a few things that I changed up. So I because most of my editing process is editing out me breathing. You never realize how heavily you breathe until you have to take out every breath that you take, and you're like, I'm just like, gosh, am I just dying in the middle of this? I thought I was quiet. Will you get drunk while doing either? Oh, probably. I mean, I'm already drunk right now because, according to Desk Guy, I'm forever drunk. If I wasn't forever drunk, then I don't know. is is New Year's the only time I'm actually sober? Is when I'm actually drinking? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I actually do want to try making mead. Uh, Not for next year's stream because I don't think I heard that you making and using mead in the same year isn't as good as letting it age for a little bit. So I could start a mead soonish, maybe next month. My goal is next month, knock on wood, and then after I let it age for a whole year after making it, and then I drink homemade mead on stream. I want to try it because I heard it's pretty easy. But although everyone does make fun of me for drinking mead because they're like the Renaissance called, they want their drink back, but they don't know good taste. But yeah, glad to hear everyone's doing all right. It seems that everyone's good for whatever. V's the only one that has actually thrown a coin in whichever hat. So it looks like we are reading today. And let me just get this started. Moment of silence for me trying to remember how to voice all of these characters. Should have practiced beforehand, but you know me, always prepared by never preparing. It gets food poisoning on stream. Mead poisoning. Let's go. I heard the worst thing I could do was make vinegar, so. So who knows? It could be either or. All the mead making channels I'm getting recommended says it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. So I'm going to try it eventually. I just need to get all the equipment, which I don't have. That's the worst part, is getting all the equipment that you don't have. Other than that, pretty cheap, all things considered. I mean, honey can be expensive, but not necessarily so. Gosh, I'm already halfway down on my water. No! I've been drinking too much already. Also, let me know if you want me to add any other plushies to this chat, because I've made a few. just a touch of more plushies since we made this little thing a little bit ago. Even got Angry Idol or Angry Friendly looking at me because I'm about to butcher his entire autobiography. Yeah, I guess Changeling of the Guard counts as an autobiography. There's never no such thing as too much drinking. It's Celestia. Because isn't that just regular Celestia, but more pink? Pink Celestia? Small and pink is what I heard is Celestia's. Yeah, I've made a bunch, mostly for various friendos, including adding more to the horse box, which is just a collection of every plush that I've ever done. Yeah, I might have to make a Celestia one of these days. But without further ado, enough stalling, Captain. Oh, I thought I heard something from my roommate. Anyway, let's try. Let's see how long I can go. Shall we? It's not gonna be long. I can already taste it. Alright. We finished the Discord chapter last, and now it's on to the aftermath. So that is a concise retelling of the events of my day. I tried to lift my hoof again and found it still damnably stuck. I still could not decide whether I should be more impressed or annoyed. Annoyance was beginning to win out, but then again, it was impressive that this substance was able to resist my ability to adjust my body. So maybe they were still even. It was actually more than mildly concerning that she could do this in the first place. How's that for mm-hmm. Nope. Mm-hmm. Hey, Lav, welcome to the live stream. It's been a while, in that it's been probably about a week or so. No, you killed me on Tuesday. That's right. Uh, Lav, to everyone that doesn't know, is a friend that I've had, is a friend that I met about, gosh, back in 2016, 15? Ugh, way too long ago. And they know my perchance of just disappearing on the wind. And in every single server I share with them that they control, they make sure to give me the role of ghost pwn, because I am always there lurking in the background but never interacting. And this is how it's been for decades. So if I'm not responding to stuff, don't worry. I don't respond to a lot of people, much to everyone's chagrin, including my own. Yeah, I like stuff. I I like to vanish. A spooky white pony boy. Yeah, maybe that's why my horse is white, because I'm just already a ghost in the wind. I've actually been thinking about changing it to a bat for the longest time, because I love the night shift, and I'm never awake during the day usually. I'm much more active at night too, like to the point where anytime I'm tired, I'm like, I'll just wait till the sun sets, and then as soon as the sun sets, it's just like, I'm awake now. I swear I'm a vampire half the time. Join. I just started laugh. Or are you just saying join the Batos? I asked if I should join the Batos, and you said no, keep the Pegasus. Who knows? With my character's backstory, I could probably still change it up to be a bat poem, but I don't know. I've grown fond of Little Nox. Yeah, I asked you Tuesday night if I should join the Batos, and you said no. I mean, everyone has a great love for Batos in this chat. Batos and changelings are the top tier in this server. And if Abel is here, anything with fangs is smoochable. Yeah, we got a couple bats in chat. Gosh, I still feel like that chat box is still not great to read. I wish I could do an outline. Gonna have to choose to blame Moth Chaser. I mean, yeah, probably. Hey, Callie, welcome to the stream. Be a griffin, please. I'm so lonely. Funny enough, I've been thinking of changing around Nox for a little bit, and one of those was into a changeling. Uh, Mostly because of the whole voice acting bit. I don't know. Like, that's be multiplying. Yeah, pretty much. I've loved bats since long before it was cool. Unfortunately, and I think I've mentioned this in a lot of our in some discussions, probably in this server, that bats may or may not actually exist in MLP canon, because like, as far as I'm aware, Lavi, you can chime in and say if I'm wrong or not, because as far as I know, they're only a part of the Halloween episode, and Luna could have been doing that to be extra spooky. So if that was just like a glamour put over Luna's guards, because we haven't seen a bat since, and you'd think they would have that somewhere. They were going to be in the fan special? No! If I turn into a changeling, I can canonically keep your Thestral and Pegasi forms. True. Though at the end of the day, my little boyo is Flutter. That's a fruit bat, not a bat. Not really the same. Yeah, Flutterbat's something else. No, Flutterbat did happen, but Flutterbat was like magical MacGuffin, magical mumbo jumbo. Welcome, Seth. You cannot sneak in. Not on my stream. I'm too sharp-eyed. Not sharp-tongued, but sharp-of-eyed. I 100% have. It's even alluded to that Flutters keeps bat traits, but they never go back to it. They show the one thing as the stinger of the episode, and then they never bring it up again. Flufferbat sounds lewd. It does. But like, if they ever brought it up, like if they ever showed her model with a snaggletooth again, like imagine, like that could have made like a little funny gag of her in Discord comparing snaggleteeth, because they both have them, but they never talk about it. They haven't even updated her model. Flufflepuff could also sound lewd. Potentially, yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Where's that guy? Oh, there's the guy. Can I change? Can I change it without exploding everything, please? Because I do have. Where is he? Give me my boy. Give me my other boy. There we go. There we go. I also have little Solstice. I have Equinox and I have Solstice. Flufflepuff Isloo just asked Chrissy. True, the fun cave indeed. 100%. Bat caves. But yeah, they never talk about them. We never see them, not even in the background. And with how much fan service is in the later seasons, where they're just like, let's see how many different references we can get the bronies to look at. And they never once showed off the bat ponies. And now Fluffershy is a canon name. If not, I'll start and no one will ever know. The more you say it, the more it sounds lewd. Step too far, because then they'd have to make special toys. True, but imagine how much money they could have made with all those special toys, because the fans absolutely adore the bats. Stop the bats, more like join the bats, because that's all that the fandom ever did. As soon as they were revealed, they're like, Thestrals, more. Same thing with the changelings. Changelings, more. They don't need to be mentioned again. They're evading the spotlight. What bats are about. Gotta run them past quality control and stuff, but no. You need attention and beef jerky. I don't know about beef jerky. I'm sure Idol could provide you some. He has some great knives. sad ease and toylessness. I've actually, funny enough, with all these plushies that I've been drawing, it makes me kind of want to start making plushies. Except I don't own any sewing equipment. That's the bad thing about wanting to start any hobby, is that you're like, oh, I have to like get equipment for that now. And anytime you do that, it's expensive for the most part, unless you get really lucky. But I've never been that lucky. Let's see. Does this look any better? Oh no, that's even harder to read. I think we're just going to keep on with the topaz yellow, because that seems to be the easiest to read. MLP 40k figures. I heard all those 40k figures are so expensive. First thing I'd make is officer friendly. You're right. Gives, if it's Moth Chaser we're giving in a G.I. Joe action figure, then it wouldn't be called, no, it's not, what is it, Deputy Affectionate? Is that what we decided? Oh no, Officer Spooky. It would be Officer Spooky. From last stream, we decided Moth Chaser's G.I. Joe action figure would be Officer Spooky's. You have Officer Spooky, Friendly, Deputy Affectionate. What was it? Commander Lovely. Kung Fu Action Wings. What was the Idol's dog's name? What was like his clay dog that we made up? Also, chat scrolled up to the top on your side. I don't know how it does that. I don't know. It sometimes does it, sometimes works right. I don't know. Cassius, that's what it was. It was Cassius. Cassius in action figure. It does nothing. That's right. Cersus would be an anime type magical filly. Oh, I don't think Cersus would ever want to be a magical filly, because I think she just. Oh no, I could see Cersus maybe being a magical filly, but she would probably want to be less that and more the gritty adventurer type. And we need more bat toys. 100% we need more bat toys. We need any bat toys. It's my imaginary friend form. Imagine if she showed up as a magical filly, and that way, if anyone questions, if anyone asks about who they were talking to, it's more like a no one's ever going to believe you kind of scenario. Or what was it? This D&D story about a horse rogue, and it's because his dad was a minotaur but had a horse top, and his mom was a centaur, and so he just got both horse halves. And he just likes being a rogue because no one's going to believe you. That just a talking horse robbed the pole place. Mm-hmm. Came the muffled response. There was a low rumble of thunder from outside, unusual enough in Canterlot. If a horse becomes an arcane trickster, do they get mage hoof? Oh, probably. Oh, 100%. Although you could argue that horses are already tricksters, maybe not arcane, but they definitely do be doing something. They are definitely related to Loki in some way, shape, or form. Disembodied hoof hobbling about. I don't know. Mage hoof could probably be floating around. Probably could definitely buck something up really bad if they wanted to. I believe I have earned an explanation for why you are wearing a helmet, cape, and a gas mask. And why are there giant sticky pads? Why are there? And why are there giant sticky pads all over the house? I queried, feeling I had been excessively patient in this particular regard. Her murmured response was almost completely impenetrable and even more impossible to comprehend. Could you speak up or remove the mask? The oddly painted mask was yanked off by a flushed topaz, but her voice remained a murmur. I. Uh, sure. Horses scare me. They keep stealing my collection of grass. Well, he shouldn't have such oddly tasting grass. It's exotic. It's imported grass. We have already decided it would make perfect sense to have Izzy Moonbow be a descendant to Idol, but what about the rest of the main cast of G5? Which of them could you see related to Idol? Ooh, the rest of the cast and whether or not they could be related to Idol. I don't know. I love the idea of Izzy being related to Idol, uh, or that Idol and Pinky's bloodlines like merged at some point, much to his horror. I trusted you not to keep my grass collection safe. I didn't touch any of your grass. I just say, if you have imported grass, then you shouldn't be surprised when equines want a little taste of it, a little nibble. Maud got hers. Oh, 100%. Imperceptible. I didn't say impenetrable yet. Did I? Imperceptible. Oh, there we go. Yep, I found it. I found it. Okay, how far back do I have to rewind? There we go. And oh. How'd you know it tasted oddly delicious? Well, you asked me to upkeep it as well. How do you? And I don't own a lawnmower. How do you think I kept it trim? If Phyllis Cloverleaf had changeling in her bloodline, that would be ironic. I could definitely kind of see that, especially some of the some of the changelings from the old style of thinking, where they're like they want to sow discord. Grass is for me and me alone. Why be a villain and drug the water supply when I can steal the world's grass supply? Well, if you're stealing the world's grass supply, then you shouldn't be surprised when there's an uprising about it. But yeah, definitely like because I can still imagine that there's still remnants of Chrysalis's hive that didn't convert, because like all the changelings being in the same hive at the same place is odd. Also, that and this is me speaking from from having not watched the Pharynx episode. I know, sacrilege, but but him alone shouldn't be like the only like outsider. There should be a few more. Of course, Idol has to have bloodlines tied to each of the pony races, such as possibly be Queen Haven's many greats grandfather. Oh, that's true. Did you know in like the train station, you can maybe see it's kind of hard to see online, but when they take it down to, when Zip takes them down to the old train station in the movie, you can see in the back there's like statues, and they're kind of hard to make out, but they look like changelings. I will get you to finish ponies eventually, maybe. Yeah, you'll have to force me to edit, and no one likes to edit. Keeps eating the grass from Ohio. Oh, Ohio grass? I mean, that's not just me eating Ohio grass. I know at least 6 or 7 other horses in Ohio. A few of them are in chat right now. The old train station was Old Canterlot Castle. A few. I'm not leaving anyone out here. Laugh. If I'm remembering right, there's at least 8 in chat. The train station was Old Canterlot. I think the castle that we see is the Old Canterlot Castle. They just have taken away like a lot of the old things. But I think the train station was less Old Canterlot and more just like hidden train station, maybe hidden Zeppelin station, because we don't really see train tracks. So maybe it could be like an airship area. And that's what I'm thinking that could have been. Airship service, train station. You never know with ponies. That they'll make all sorts of wacky contraptions. And plus having like the main terminal being under Canterlot, kind of like a subway system, except the rest of the system is connected to like surface railroads that all funnel people up to Canterlot proper. Makes a lot of sense. Gotta walk the neighbor's doggo. Have fun. Have fun. Hopefully, we'll see you back here before the stream ends. Oh gosh. What? It's already been an hour? No, it hasn't. Impossible. Impossibly. I refuse to believe something like that has happened. Let's see, where did I leave off again? I forgot. Her murmured response was almost completely imperceptible and even more impossible to comprehend. Could you speak up or remove the mask? The oddly painted mask was yanked off by a flush topad. Topad? What? Topad? I never. I had grass I stole from Utah, but Knox ate most of it. Had to lock the last stolen patch behind a vault door. Anyone who's been here knows that there's no such thing as grass. We import it from everywhere else. Oh, there's no grass. We have marshes. We do have a marsh. It's not as big as it used to be. We also have a really flat area that's really salty, a salt flats area. One more quick amusing question. How do you think Idol would react to meeting Spirit Twilight, aka the mini six who... I know, because I stole it for There Is No More Grass. I mean, he would definitely... I think the Uncanny Valley would hit him super hard, and he definitely wouldn't trust it, but he could also sense the immense power behind it. So, like, since, like, it depends before or after the wedding, because before the wedding, he's kind of like, uh, it, he's kind of like been conditioned to like defer to those more powerful than him to hold into high power, and since he's meeting what's equivalent to harmony itself, he would def he would definitely like respect her for that, but he would also just be incredibly uncomfortable the entire time because it's Twilight, but more serial killery. At least that's the vibes I got off of Tree Twilight. Like every time I saw her just wide-eyed blank stare, I just thought, "Do you want to? Would you like to play a game?" Every single time that she messes with the main six. Yeah, you can't fault me, Demo, from stealing back my homeland's grass and probably nomming on it. And would show Harmony the same casual blasphemy that orangutans show to God. The mini six? I thought they were the student six. Yeah, definitely the student six. Which, by the way, Gallus, best of the student six. I love him so much. He's just a boy. Yeah, same thing. Changelings, love bugs, space Bambi, all the same things. I am a divine incarnation. I didn't vote for you. You don't vote. I wonder how much Twilight owes in taxes. Probably. Who knows? She probably. She would follow the. I feel like Twilight would follow the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. So she probably pays much more in taxes than she should. Or it's possible that she pays less in taxes because she knows the loopholes. She probably started off paying way more in taxes, learn more about the tax system, to the point where she's better than any CPA you could probably find, and then doesn't commit tax fraud, but shows that you don't need to. I'm stealing the princess's social security checks. Do the princesses get social security? Because they are the social security. They got the royal coffers. Am I missing anyone? No. Okay. And The oddly painted mask was yanked off by flushed Topaz, but her voice remained a mutter. Sure. I tilted forward, and the unwelcome mat I was standing on slipped, and thus I found myself lying on my side, not quite glaring, but certainly not pleased with my situation. Topaz bit her lip and put a hoof to her mouth, but I could only sigh as I laid my head down. Aware that I was now stuck cheek first, I cut a look to her. You may laugh if you must. Why pay taxes when you're friends with the government? Why pay taxes when you are the government in Twilight's case? She does her taxes because she likes to do the paperwork. Oh, that is the most accurate Twilight. Let's face it, Twilight is the tax collector pony nagging you about your late or insufficient payments. I feel like Idol might fit that description, or at least the changeling that Idol directed towards the accounting office. I'm doing what my idol would do. Now I got to be rude to a princess. And that whole... gosh, why is this heart thing? Can I move this, please? Do I move that? That or dye my feathers green. I mean, you could dye your feathers green. Yeah, that would be a good look. I mean, do you need to dye your feathers green? Because you could just morph them to be green. That could also be a case. I mean, there's a lot of changelings and battles in chat, so if you want to dye it, go right ahead. Late or insufficient. Yeah, Twilight could definitely be the pony that is... Twilight's probably the one. Twilight... Thing is that Twilight's probably me. Is probably the same mindset of that if something is out of place, she'll dig for like an hour trying to make sense of it until either she's able to confirm everything about that account, or that she finds the one thing and is like, oh no, this guy hasn't been registered under the right account name for 2 decades. And then sends 3 other departments, sends a letter to 3 other departments to please fix. I found your mistake. Princesses live past 80, but the thing is that they're on the royal coffers. So do they get an allowance from the royal coffers, or do they just have the royal coffers? And I've seen in a lot of stories that either it's a monarchy, or that it's like a lot what Britain does, where it's like a monarchy, but then they still have like representatives and whatnot. And Celestia is more of a figurehead than anything else. I don't even know what a social security check is. That's fair. Most people won't see it. See them, so I don't really even understand them. And I probably should familiarize myself with that at some point. But we're running out of that money in like a decade or so, so I'm probably not going to bother with it. Red tape and taxes. That is... you couldn't be more right about that. Especially the red tape part. Like, there was this one person who asked to like, here's how much red tape goes across. One person... Okay, I'm still fine. One person got an error on something that they were technically following our manual for doing things, even though that's not the way that we were technically trained. It's the way that she was following the manual, and if you reference the manual, you shouldn't get an error. So then they didn't give her an error, and then the analyst came back, who interprets the tax code into a more readable format. It's still pretty legalese, but it's a more readable format for the everyday schmucks that have to read it and operate off of it every day. And they updated it to say, if you're doing it specifically in this case scenario, do it this way. Just so that now there's a reference to give people an error for. So lots of bureaucracy, lots of red tape. Be bad, bruv. Toilet paper and prepare for the collapse of the economy. Oh, probably. We're the last line of defense. Probably. Who knows? It's not us that are evil. We're just the accountants. You gotta point at the big bad. Oh man. It's one of those. My job's one of those things where it's interesting to me because I love learning about the nitty gritty and how things work. But to everyone that's not in that line of service, their eyes immediately glaze over as soon as I start talking about it because they don't understand a lick of it. And I don't fault them for that. I don't fault anyone for that because this is just my current hyperfixation. That or buy GI Pone action figures. Ah, definitely. I would love to buy GI Pone action figures. GI Pone. I would love to get my hands on an officer friendly. Get the whole set. Oh man. I really shouldn't. I noted that her hoof did not move from where it hit her muzzle, though her rapidly blinking belied her restrained mirth. No, I insist. I tried to shift my hooves to the side to be more angular, but it proved to be a mostly fruitless endeavor. And I also must beg your assistance in helping me up. Her voice was strangled. You sure? You almost got it. I gave her a flat look. Do I really? It was not truly a question. No? And then her composure broke and gave a barely restrained snort before breaking into a full-blown laughter as she went for the kitchen. I'm sorry. Let me get some cooking oil or something. I am still waiting on an explanation for the gas mask, I informed her retreating form, trying to wiggle after her, only managing to somehow fold an upended portion of the mat over me. I decided that it might be best to leave this in her hooves, and waited patiently. I felt uncomfortably like a parcel waiting for shipment. Just give me a minute. How did you make it worse in the 10 seconds it took me to get some vegetable oil? Hold still. Let me pour some of this on your hooves. Within minutes, I began to pry free thanks to the slippery substance, though now mere tile became more troublesome. Greasing up the rest of me was an interesting feeling, though not one I desired to replicate anytime soon. Honestly, just stay still. We'll dry you off with a little soap. Oh, why am I peeking? Oh no. And boop. Honestly, just stay still. We'll dry you off with a little soap. We'll dry you off. Honestly, just stay still. We'll dry you off and a little soap will fix the rest, and then I'll have to take down the rest of them. Need to get some things sorted and get settled down for the night. Chat with you later, you cheeky grass stealer. Always stealing. I always steal the grass. I mean, I maintain the grass for non-stealing purposes. Exactly. Have a good night, Demo. Glad you could stop by. Topaz, please, tell me what is going on. A groan of despair. Promise you won't laugh? I raised an eyebrow. Okay, that's fair. I was, Topaz Showers, the bugmare, but by night I was the buggisher. Alright, see you around soon. I blinked a few times. The what? I was convinced that the government was being taken over by bug ponies. Topaz, I believe I am what you would consider a bug pony. You've made that clear that in no uncertain terms before, and the comparison seems to be apt. Yeah, there was some convoluted backstory, and I think you were a frenemy, and I had an archenemy, the Queen Bee. Would that be why Honeydew's house now has stripes and a large crown painted on it? Honeydew was Queen Bee? Disbelief crossed her face, then annoyance. Of course she would be. Why wasn't that obvious? According to Spike, it never is. Welcome to the live stream, Katie. I love the story. Is this right after Discord, right? This is like the very beginning of right after Discord. It's dealing with all the fallout of that. But I'm glad you make it. The first time catching one of these streams. Well, welcome. If you have any questions for me, and I think V's lurking around somewhere. We just chat and have fun. If you want to post pictures or memes or stuff, just post it in the COCG Discord, and we'll have a laugh at them together. But thanks for joining us. Where was I? Look, it doesn't matter. Dear Celestia Idol, my basement is full of photographs and red threads and maps, and I'm not entirely sure it wasn't me who was the villain. I mean, I think I was stung as a foal, but I was never stung as a little filly. I can't tell if I just don't remember my backstory, or if I made it up, or if I was always made up, or... I put a hoof to her shoulder firmly. Topaz, calm down. All is well. Discord is gone, apparently. I am under the impression that the elements of harmony have resolved that issue, but the specifics are yet a mystery to me. Everything is mostly how it should be. The weather crews are trying to wash away what they can, and we're authorized to use localized typhoons if need be. Honeydew's home will be a... Honeydew's home will get a good washing, and hopefully whatever she used to decorate her home comes right off. I could have hurt some pony. Harmony knows what I have done to a changeling. You wouldn't have done... You would have done nothing. Whatever the... I gave a deep sigh. Buggisher did is completely unrelated to things that you would normally do. Is Honeydew your nemesis? Of course not. That's silly. And yet, at some point, the two of you would have fought to the death, unless by some happenstance she survived off-screen. Topaz gave me a suspicious look, and I found that I could not meet her eyes. I read the comics I get for Spike to ensure that they are age-appropriate. Some comic shops are less vigorous about maintaining such standards for their imported materials. The shopkeeper assured me that the maniac probably survived her last encounter, but a little implied darkness makes the day brighter. Her eyes twinkled behind her spectacles. You know it's fine if you like reading them, Idol. But what about you? It sounds like the whole thing in the palace was... In my case, nothing happened that I can recall. It is murky, but it seems I was just fed grapes and fanned, mostly. I distinctly recall having grapes peeled for me, but I do not actually see the point of peeling them. Honestly, it seems far more messy than it is decadent. Oh, I know that one. Old grapes used to have a tough skin, kind of like oranges, I guess. It's really old-timey thing. Maybe before Luna or Celestia's time, even. I don't even know how you do it nowadays. I think Moth Chaser was the one who really managed. At least, she was the only one who was still feeding me when things went... back to normal. It was oddly impressive, actually. She was holding her wings up over us and apparently dripping the juices from her wingtips into my mouth. Very dexterous. Wingstress? I twisted a bit, then held my forelegs in an arch above my head in an attempt to emulate the position, realizing after a moment that I could just become Moth Chaser and show her, but I suddenly felt that would make the explanation awkward in some way. I wonder if that's why she was so embarrassed. One shouldn't play with their food. Topaz scrunched her muzzle. Sounds like there's going to be a bunch of ponies not sure how they feel. Honestly, I mean, I'm still kind of vaguely sure the government is out to get me. I wonder if this is how Mother feels all the time. It's going to be a problem, you know. Topaz began peeling some of her sticky traps from around the windows, rolling them up to keep them from clinging to her feathers. I briefly attempted to help, but between my greasy hooves and the glue, it seemed a fool's errand. Canterlot looks like we threw a citywide revelry and every pony was wasted. And now it's going to be wet and weird. I nodded out the window, surveying the damage as I made a mental note, again, to peruse. I nodded out the window, surveying the damage as I made a mental note again to pursue why Topaz's mother was so confident that the guard had some business with her. A shame Shining isn't here now. Weather shields would make the day far less irritating. Still, I should go. There is much for my ilk to clean up. Discord's magic may be gone, but clearly at least some of the damage he wrought is still in effect. From the sounds of it, it's probably best that those two were out of town. I mean, where would Cadence have been for this whole mess? I shuddered. Fair point. I am simply glad Princess Luna slept through the entire event. Now, I wanted to make sure everything was well here before I returned to assist, and it seems you have it all well in hoof. Lucky her, Topaz called up the stairs, shuffling with her awkward bundle of oversized pest traps. While I do appreciate that, you should... There was a long pause. Idol, is there something you'd like to tell me? And the reveal of the best of the favorite characters, Cersei. Let's go. We're almost there. Oh no, I have to remember how to do... now I have to figure out how Cersei is going to sound. I didn't prepare for this. I don't prepare for anything. I frowned, thinking of a great many things I would like to express, but nothing that I thought was immediately urgent. No? I would have to do a sweep of the city, ensure there were no fires or other strange damages that required immediate attention. I had caught a single Paris bar on my way home bouncing next to a music box, but that was a problem quickly resolved. I'd have to check on the nymph. Order knows what she had gotten up to with a discordant Canterlot. The idea that she might have been caught up in the ponies who were Welcome back. Welcome back, Seth. We're about to reveal Cersei in the Buggerito. The Buggerito. The idea that she might have been caught up in the ponies who the Draconequus had altered was too frightening to warrant further contemplation. I would need to find her a better caretaker. I was too often called away on behalf of the princess or the needs of Equestria. I was never trained as a nurse, and while I could provide food, I simply wasn't qualified to provide much in the way of education. Even after these... How many of Yetta's line would be? Well, the thing is that we have no idea what outside of Equestria looks like. At least I don't. I haven't watched the new series, except for the movie. But I would assume that Nowhere kind of weathered the storm. Nowhere is kind of like a place and time that like nothing really changes there. Whatever is affecting the outside world, it doesn't really affect Nowhere on a day-to-day basis. Even after all these years, sometimes I still don't know what I was doing. I made do and somehow managed well enough. I had a few exiles in my mind that seemed relatively stable. Surely one of them she would be better well cared for. Even after all these years, sometimes I still don't. Ironically, it was the bad magic that kept things moving along. Yeah, probably. Probably like the bad magic maybe wore off. Either it kept the saturation of magic in the local area high enough that no one really noticed, or that the bad magic slowly disappeared. But by the time the Nowhere crew just kind of assumed that they hadn't found all the pockets yet, and they're just kind of waiting there for the next source to be located. Who knows? The thing with Nowhere is that, like, anything and everything could happen there, including absolutely nothing. Like what happened to our town. What happened to a lot of cities in the Sequestria? Like, how did they become segregated so fast? But Nowhere in particular seems just so far out there that anything that rumors flying around the capital about stuff like that would just be thrown to rumor mill or not even get that far down the line in the first place. Like, they might be weirded out that no one has sent a train to pick up the next shipment of bad magic or send supplies down, but their usual way of contacting the outside world is just kind of been disconnected, because I assume they do things through Dragonfire. And so it could just be a thing of they're just cut off, but way too far away to walk anywhere. Even after all of these years, sometimes I still don't know. I still didn't. Celestia coming up with a new rumor to spread. So Nowhere isn't part of the story. It's one of many headcanons that we've made in the server for Idle. We have there's too many to count, but originally Nowhere was this small fort from a town that used to be that was mislabeled on a map that Idle was sent to ride out the changeling invasion, and then another one, and then it changed to get him out of Dodge while all the temperature in Canterlot cooled down. So Nowhere is just kind of like this ragtag group of people that are put out there as a like they are uh, they're too weird and wacky to fit in with the rest of the military, but they're not bad enough to actually just kick out of the military. So it's kind of like a dead end post. And you get lots of colorful characters in those parts of the woods. And the mislabeling of the fort was it was to protect an old salt mine of, and when they changed the place on the map and corrected it, is like fort's not here, fort's now here, and people have misread that fort now here to fort nowhere. There's a lot of things like that that have shown up in the Discord. If you're, is the Discord part of my description? I hope it is, because if it's not, I'm going to be angry with myself. Because I probably should put a Discord link in the description at some point or another. Come on, where is all my things? Will it let me get into? There we go. Let me just double check. Grogar achieved ultimate power right as magic failed. Well, wasn't the part of the nowhere part of town was that Grogar was just someone minding an old person just like farming out in the middle of nowhere because he just didn't feel like taking over the world again. And sheer spiteful fury, he puts all of nowhere in a stasis until magic come back. Yeah, nowhere is like a huge piling on of lots of headcanons. Like from what I can remember, we have Commander Chest Candy, which is like palette swapped shining armor, but he's one of those military officers that has just kind of, he just doesn't really care anymore. He like he doesn't wish to lead because he knows what the military does to ponies, so he's more of a disenfranchised shining armor. And then you have Dr. Meatwagon, which is a griffin named Meatwagon by his parents, unfortunately. And he's a really good doctor, but most ponies don't want to trust their lives to a griffin named Meatwagon, so that's how he ended up in nowhere. And close to nowhere is a town called Town. Yes, because the people in nowhere are just full of like, it's like the opposite of Ponyville, where instead of just like quaint things that wackiness sometimes happen to, nowhere is a town that all their craziness comes from the area that they decided to settle in. Other headcanons. Oh yeah, Discord Discord link should be in the description, so that way you can join in all the chaos that ensues on there. Beware you joining the madhouse because the patients run the hospital. And we've established this Grogar living there trying to cultivate a garden while get his powers come back because there's lots of bad magic in the area from something, unknown cult happening way back when, and bad magic is just terrible for everyone involved. It's almost like radiation kind of levels of bad. So Nowhere Crew is actually like this top people that can think outside of the box to just take care of the mess that bad magic creates. And funny enough, Yada, I've been pronouncing it as Yada this entire time, and it wasn't until you said in the Discord the other day it's like pronounced Yuada that I finally got, oh, that's how it's pronounced. Meatwagon is a fun guy, and we've put in that Meatwagon immediately knows that Idol's a changeling. This was before the creation of Uada, because Uada was a changeling cast out from the changeling invasion and then landed in Fort Nowhere. And since this took place, and it was originally that Idol was coming back just as Uada crashed into the fort. Uh, so that way, there's always kind of a changeling in the fort. Uh, but Dr. Meatwagon immediately sensed that Idol wasn't a pony. Probably didn't know what a changeling was, but immediately figured out that he definitely wasn't a unicorn. There's other fun ideas that we have, like Idol, where Idol, since he's the epitome of what a guard should be, and just his presence and whatnot. What if he was affected by Poison Joke and got turned into a plushie, and that's where Idol comes from, and then everyone sees how adorable Idol is, and then Celestia's commissions someone to make toys off of Idol's image and markets it as officer friendly. And that's where all these plushies came about, was officer friendly. Funny thing, there was a headcanon that some of the Nowhere crew are old, very old, and the pools of bad magic we mentioned before have a passive effect on the fort that they're slow aging. Yeah, that's been tossed around, that they are just like, they just kind of don't want to retire. And so, yeah, like they could retire if they wanted to. No one would question it. But they like the camaraderie of the people of the fort, so they just kind of stay, and they're gifted with like semi-immortality, which is just lots of fun for everyone. And let me... Oh. They're almost the magical equivalent of the 4077. I don't know what the 4077 is. I assume it's a gaming reference, and I haven't gamed in ages. The 4077. Oh, MASH. Okay, now I understand. I didn't watch the entirety of MASH. I just watched a few episodes here or there. I had no idea that was what their regiment was called. You watch it all on DVD? Nice. Yeah, I only caught it when, like, because I was pretty young when MASH was playing, or at least when my family was watching MASH. I would never watch it. I would only watch it if my mom or my grandpa was watching it. So that was my exposure to MASH, but that theme song is just embedded into my head. Want to know why the cross-dressing Killinger works with him trying to get out of the Navy? Oh, that's awesome. I remember is it Killinger or is it? I think it's Killinger. I can't remember. It's been decades since I've been exposed to this show, so like I can remember the name Radar, and that's about it. But yeah, it's such a wacky crew, but that just being Fort Nowhere is just so much fun. And it's and kind of funny, Katie, is that a lot of these headcanons have actually spun off into their own fics, or have been mentioned in their own fics, such as uh, Colonel Hooves, which is written by Karma Sentinel, is it does mention the idol incident many a times, and the officer friendly incident, and it's pretty much an alternate canon of V's story now that that's a finished story too. So if you want to read it, it just barely finished. So lots of good story there. I need to finish it myself because it's kind of weird how I've been reading it. Is that I've read like 3 or 4 chapters in the middle, and I read the first chapter, but I've missed every other chapter. Just need to read it actually. Yeah, never expect VJ probably never expected their creation to spin off so many side stories. Yeah, I don't think any author thinks about that because we kind of joke that that Kama's turning slightly into somber of this fan series, because you have Changeling of the Guard, which is still ongoing, but technically Karma has written more words, more idle words than V has at the moment. And just 100% Seth. It's such a huge playground, just because you can really do anything you want with Idle. As long as it doesn't break canon, it could absolutely happen. One story I still need to catch up on is Idle having to team up with Daring Do, because everyone still thinks he's King Kukaracha because he drank out of the chalice. The chalice. With Idle, it's hard to break canon. That's true. But if you don't break the canon of the main show, you kind of have a blank check to do whatever, as long as it doesn't break canon of the main show. And it's easy to do that because the main show doesn't explore that many of the fun side characters that we got. That was always the fun of creating it, was just the whole, you can explore anything you want, because like there's so many fics that I'm like, a lot of these are my favorite fics. Idle, like a lot of fics I can claim that, oh, these are my favorite fics, but I haven't done voice readings for them. Only Idle was the first one that I'm like, no, I must create an audiobook of this littling making his way through the world, because it was just such a unique concept that I never pictured before. Because a lot of times the main character follows into the main character role, but Idle specifically doesn't want to be the main character, and it's so funny just seeing him thrust into that role over and over again. Oh yeah, if Idle can only fail upwards is such a funny trope that we've made for him, where that no matter how much he tries to lose all his money, he can only make more. Oh yeah, he was an Iron Horse. That's right. I still need to read Iron Horse. But yeah, Idle shows up in Iron Horse. Uh, he showed up in what was that game? Like the Hearts of Iron uh, Equestria mod. I can't remember for the life of me. I don't know why. uh, Yeah, I can't remember the Hearts of Iron Equestria War. Why couldn't I remember Equestria War? It's so simple that I forgot about that I forgot the name. Everything that I thought of, I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right. That one doesn't sound right either. He shows up as a teacher in Equestria Girls fic. Oh man, that's so funny. I could see, although I almost don't see him as a teacher in an Equestria Girl setting. He'd either be a cop or just happily be the quirky janitor. That would be like his two modes in Equestria Girls, in my opinion. Cersei as Celestia's goddaughter. I mean, that's a given. You're doing a poor job as a hype man. Hey, my brain can only hold so much knowledge, and I don't know why, but my brain's decided, you know what? You need to remember these specific scenes from movies that you haven't seen in a decade. You need to lock that deep into your core memories, and then nothing else can fit in here. uh, but yeah, idols, lots of fun. Also, welcome All Star. I don't think you've chatted yet this stream, so welcome to the live stream. I changed it up a little bit. Now we're in a blue background that matches Idol's fur instead of white. Thought it might look a little bit better. Yeah, Equestria War. I've heard from a lot of people that Equestria War is like the best mod for Hearts of Iron, for Hearts of Iron 4, which is really funny because there's a lot of creators that play Hearts of Iron 4 that's like they begrudgingly admit that the pony mod is the best one for their favorite game. If Cersei officially became Celestia's goddaughter, does that make her officially part of the royal family? No, I don't think so, because she's not royal by blood or by bond. Because goddaughter just ensures that if the parents were lost, then you have someone to take care of, like in almost like an immediate foster parent. So if Idol and Cersei's were, so if Idol and Topaz were to disappear, then probably, at least legally so. But then, other than that, it's just more like they're more like fun. They're more like a fun aunt. Yes, show up when they need to, spoil them a bit, but not really anything blood. Nor was Cadence a blood relative, but she's an alicorn. We're not getting into alicornness. Oh my gosh, it's so good that it got to be on the list of mods that got early access to the big DLC a while back, so it was compatible on launch. That's awesome. Like, I wish more games did stuff like that, where they gave mod makers early access so people's favorite mods would be available on launch. Because that's like, that shows like you really support your community. I really appreciate that they did something like that, just because they could. They didn't have to, but because they wanted to. That's awesome. But yeah, so, but Cadence isn't part of Celestia's royal bloodline. Cadence is adjacent to Celestia's royal bloodline, because if you're an alicorn, you're crowned a princess. So they're not related to each other. They just have the same status of each other. Equestria doesn't have queens, but it does have princesses. And so you have Celestia and Luna is one bloodline, you have Twilight as another bloodline, and you have Cadence and Flurry as another bloodline. There's 3 separate royal bloodlines in Equestria, and Cadence and Twilight's bloodline has technically merged into one after Twilight's family married into Cadence's bloodline. But as far as I know, on royalty sides of things, that only affects Shining's descendants specifically. But since Twilight's a princess, it also affects her descendants legally. I don't know if Idol made it, or if V made it official that Cadence that Celestia adopted Cadence. I think I remember that early on in the story, but I can't remember. It would be mentioned like immediately as like when Luna came in, because Luna thought Cadence was Celestia's daughter. Idol being a streamer, oh my gosh, that would be so much. It would probably be like, I imagine either Idol would be like one of those people that you just pop into a stream, and he'd just be like doing like a farming simulator the entire time, and he would chat like nice and calmly to his chat and like give life advice and whatnot, kind of like in an old timey like mentory kind of way. He wouldn't be over the top at all. He'd just be like, yeah, people just come into the chat to hang out. And we just farm. We farm and chat, and like all his communities, like the chillest community on the internet. Cadence is not adopted, but Celestia wants her to treat her like an aunt. So yeah, like I said, like Cadence has right to rule by wings. Celestia and Luna have right to rule by wings, and so does Twilight. But they're all technically 3 different bloodlines. Heat, Outshine, Pip. Oh, 100%. Well, no. The thing is that Pip would be like the immediately popular one, huge surge in popularity, and then Idols would have just like a huge devoted fan base that he's just he doesn't want to like he actively encourages his chat to enjoy other streamers, and he's just calm about it the entire time, like he almost like a grandfatherly figure of a streamer, even though he's nowhere near that old. Idols basically Gray still plays, but taking every game seriously. I've never seen that, but I've never seen that stream. I don't watch a lot of streamers, unfortunately. A few of my friends are, but I don't have the ability to catch them half the time. Hey, people, Dole here. Well, now we made a new headcanon. Streamer Idol. And Idol would probably be one of those people that would play the game how it was meant to be played, not how, right? So he would like, not, he would think that people who, to enjoy things the way that they enjoy it, but whenever someone tries to encourage him to like try glitches or to break the game in any ways, he says, he just encourages them that you might like to play that way, but I prefer to play the way that the game creator intended. So now the stream's going to end for the evening, but we're going to raid my great-great-grandfather Idol, Idol Hooves. Go say hi, be nice. Would he be comfortable with ponies idolizing him? Oh, heck no. But he would set up his stream in the way that people wouldn't idolize him. They would just, like, he would just be like a friend. Idol only plays with glitches he himself discovered. Oh, okay. Only glitches he himself discovered because he thinks that's the way that the game's meant to be played. I could totally see Idle doing something like that. But yeah, I feel like Idle's chat would have the least like parasocial relation going on, other than people just come into a stream, chill. They might see him as like a friend or like a fatherly figure, but not really in that kind of scenario. Also, welcome, Changeling Doll. Welcome to the live stream. Somehow, when you walk this grandmother across the street, she tips you 100,000 bits because she's clearly quite rich, I suppose. It usually happens, doesn't it? we make a lot of our own fun here. Man, so who's going to be writing this next story of Streamer Idol, or is that just going to be incorporated into one of the many spin-off fics? Or maybe a G5 fic that just has Streamer Idol in the background of Streamer Idol just has a steady growth. It's not that fast, and it's only by word of mouth, and he just slowly but the fan base is just super devoted to him because he has never steered them wrong, and he just is there for them. And sometimes when he finds stuff, it's really funny, but he's just mostly their comfort streamer. At this rate, you'll be catching up to the current chapter I graduate in about 5 years? Probably. I mean, it's been about 5 years since I started recording this fic, and we're only on chapter 52. So, yeah, only on chapter 52 at the moment, so yeah, I got a bit of a ways away. Oh yeah. Oh, like I'll probably like. If would it be nice if I caught to Drake? True, yes, but then it wouldn't be nearly as fun because then I wouldn't know what to stream next. Well, I probably would stream me reading Respite because I started that series and then only got to the second chapter and never finished reading it. I really should at one point. You never expect it. I mean, you do something long enough, you put enough heart and passion into something, then the fans will just show up. Build it and they'll appear. Kind of like with Project Horizons. I don't think Somber ever expected Project Horizons to ever compete with and or outclass the original FOE in any way, shape, or form. But they went at it long enough that they gathered a devoted fan base that was just ravenous for more of their characters, especially with how well built your characters are. And then it's just they're just so fun to have around. And it gets to the point where I see it's gotten to the point now whenever I see a bluish unicorn in either crystal armor or just regular guard armor, or even just a bluish horse ever in guard armor, or like grayish, I'm like, hey, it's Idle. They have wings. It's not Idle, but it's a Pegasus version of Idle. It's just so much fun. and you made idle at just the perfect time. Probably, probably just like at like that epitome of right when people were still discovering fics. Although, like, I feel like as long as the motivation was there, people would still find idle, even if you had like made them like right as G4 was ending. You'd have to change a lot of things about how your story was going to end and which directions you need to take with certain characters. But for the most part, like I feel like you still would have gained a pretty decent sized cult following. It wouldn't have been mentioned in many things as it is now, but still a lot of people probably would have found it. Like, he predates Thorax, but he was a changeling with a story pre-invasion, which was unheard of. True. Like, the only story I think of that like predates the invasion is probably what's their name? Nyctis from Phoenix Dragon. And then you also have the Respite crew. Let me see if I can find it. I have the book downstairs, but I'm not running downstairs to confirm or deny. Gosh, there's 6 pages of changeling stories in my library. And there's a lot of them that like, Without a Hive, but that's one that I immediately think when I think pre-invasion. And that was 2012, so I think isn't that right around changeling? And nope, that's the wrong guard. I need idle. There we go. So yeah, it was a few years before you made yours, but I feel like Phoenix Dragon didn't really like, he hit his stride like latter half of that book plus plus the later sequels. But I think it was much more clever I did because is his name Nyctis? I already forgot. I didn't look it up. Yeah, Nyctis. So Nyctis, he was an infiltrator that got lost. That got like lost outside of the hive while on like a field trip, basically. And so I feel like it's very interesting because you have like the mind of an infiltrator versus Idle, which is much more creative than the average changeling, but he's never experienced the outside world. So seeing the madness of ponies through that lens is a very interesting take that no one has ever done before or since, I don't think. Let's see. One of my other favorite changeling fixes, Princess Celestia, the Changeling Queen. I have that on my read later. I will eventually read it. Changing view. A lot of changeling pre-invasion usually takes place like they are like nymphs that grow up in pony society. But I think yours is the first one that I've ever seen where it's an adult changeling trying to fit in with changing society, which makes it a lot more interesting because it's really easy for children to adapt to new situations. It's much harder for adults to adapt to those same situations. And with Idle, with his constant stumblings and missing of a lot of social cues, because the hive mind with the hive minds, you didn't really need social cues. So him just learning all of this from scratch is just so much fun. I think that's one of our favorite parts about the character is just he's doing things that anyone anyone in this situation would do if they were brought up like him. And it's just like, wait, hold on. I have no social skills whatsoever, but he just kind of charms his way into every situation. He rolled a nat 20 very early on his character sheet, and he's just been kind of coasting off of that ever since. Oh man. Well, oh man, it's already 6? No. Oh, has to walk. Diamond Tiara has to walk the proverbial mile in a Ling's shoes. Oh, that's interesting. Is trying to make Chrissy the not an open villain because Idol didn't want to see her that way. That's true. It's yeah, the without a Hive series does end with a new way. It's like a trilogy series. You got Without a Hive, you got Fragments, and then you got a new way, which is changelings that have left the Hive or were abandoned in Equestria and integrated with ponies, trying to broker a peace with Chrysalis and the Hive to try and broker a peace between them, which like I need to reread that series because it's been like a decade since I've read it, but it's so much fun. It's later revealed that Diamond really wasn't turned into a Ling, but was potted up and remotely controlling a drone. Oh, that's fun. That's a fun idea. Talk about a virtual headset. But yeah, in that story, but yeah, I like how they don't really. I like the stories the most where Chrysalis isn't really portrayed as arrogant. Maybe a little off her rocker, but definitely not as arrogant as she's shown in later seasons. Because like Chrysalis just kind of had, the only thing she really failed at was not realizing that Twilight was full set by Cadence. She just thought she could be like snobby royalty, which she probably would have a lot of practice in it with other governments across the globe. But Cadence was just different enough, and so it almost seems like they got an opportunity too good, didn't do their homework at just the right time, or didn't do enough of the homework, and then Twilight blew open the whole plan. But she still would have won if not for the magical MacGuffin of "That's the power of love." Chrissy got away with murder because of pre-wedding jitters. True. The Princess of Love. She becomes quiet the Bridezilla. Oh, if we're talking about favorite villains, there's a lot. Oh man, I just love the Dazzlings as villains because it kind of feeds into that same role that Cozy fits in, but in a way that I like even more. Whereas the Cozy turned friendship against the ponies. The Dazzlings turned music itself against the ponies, and with how musical the ponies were, they got a lot of power. They were a problem real quick, and if it wasn't for Sunset coming in last minute, then they would have won the entire day. That stallion is large. It is a Chrissy fic where Twilight chases after Chrissy, and Chrissy's crying about how stupid she is. Oh, interesting. Oh man, imagine how much funnier, not funnier. Imagine how much as she could have gotten away with if it was not only down to wedding jitters, but she was with full, and that's why they were getting married so suddenly. Shining's too honorable for that, but they could have made up a lot of things. uh, she definitely would have been able to get away with murder then, especially with interesting food combinations. But oh man, I forgot something. I forgot to save this. Don't do that, so I don't have to redo that beginning part. Not technically. She'd have to deliver on the idea. That's only if she lasted through the wedding. If Twilight still managed to blow her cover, then she'd be in the clear. uh, but if not, then she would have to definitely find a way to to make it so. No, read my previous posts as a whole. Okay. Have I done anything for as we're Twilight? Then too late realized she'd have to deliver on the idea. Oh. The whole reason for her evasion was she needed an excuse to placate her people, so in the spot she came up so on the spot she came up with an evasion idea. Oh, gotcha. Okay, now I understand. Girl, don't you dare not technically your virginity to me. I'm a changeling, and I can't figure out where the boundaries are. What did you two do? Oh man. Like I said, lots of fun stuff. Well, thanks for subscribing, Changeling Doll. It's thanks for that. I have no idea how people still subscribe to me when I haven't put out anything in like over a year. I feel bad about it. That's why I'm trying to make it up to all y'all by putting a promise to myself to at least release 3 more chapters before the end of the year. If more, great. If not, I've really fallen from grace. Cozy as a villain. Cozy is such a interesting villain because there's a lot of times where stories end up to the point where, oh gosh, how much magic or how much friendship is it going to take to resolve this crisis? But in this case, friendship is the crisis. Yeah, Dazzlings are definitely like my top villain at top ever villains. I just wish we saw them more in their prime or more as a threat. But Rainbow Rocks, I mean, it's a good movie, so like I'll take it, but I kind of wish we got more of their shenanigans beforehand. I know that the bridge does a lot with their characters. I just need to catch up on it a little bit because it's been about like 3 or 4 chapters that I haven't read, but their chapters are like 3 of, or sometimes like 3 of V's chapters put together, so it's a hunker down for the long read. Chrysalis after finding out perfect, both of you. It's not gross. I'm putting you both in separate cocoons and no ling under 6 is feeding off you. Y'all nasty. Oh, man. It's so much fun. I recently read a fic called Anti Adagio, wherein Adagio, by pure chance, was there when Perrin Bright died. And checking for survivors, Adagio comes across who last words were, "Take care of my children." Oh, yeah, I think I saw you talking about this in the Discord a little bit. I don't know if I've added that one to my fic list. I probably will. But yeah, just more of the... but it's like, Tyrek was one of my favorite villains until he stopped scheming. Like, I love the scheming villains the best, and the Dazzlings put every other schemer to shame, except for maybe Cozy Glow. And you traumatized my boy. No, my boy. Father, help. Okay, so unfortunately, our time is finished. I wish I could do more, but I have things I need to catch up on. Thanks to everyone that stopped by. I make no promise when the next chapter is going to be posted. Hopefully soon, TM, and hopefully more of these streams will be more often. I might even do Sunday occasionally. I don't know. Like I said, the next little bit, I'm going to experiment with time zones and whatnot. We always distract you with funny ideas and other things. I mean, that's the best part, is just chatting with everyone about all the fun stuff that happens. Because I'm too socially anxious to talk about this in the server in text, but on stream it's perfectly fine. I don't know. Stream anxiety makes everything go away. Typing anxiety returns fourfold. But anyway, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. Hopefully I'll see you. Hopefully I see you sometime this month. If not, then definitely the next month. I still wonder if Idle would sense Cozy's true nature. Probably. She would definitely have a darker emotional emotion rather than just the general mischievousness of Foles. She would have definitely a much more sinister taste to it. But anyway, or at the very least, sense something was wrong with her. Yeah, he wouldn't know her true intentions, but would sense that she's very odd for a pony foal. Maybe not enough to actually do anything about it, but definitely enough to point it out. What's with this evil lost child? Oh man. I still love the headcanon that some people thought up that Sunset Shimmer and Sunburst are siblings. Because I think it's mostly because they're both orange and unicorns, but it would make it really fun where he also wants to go to the school of gifted youngsters because he wants to really find out what happened to his sister, kind of deal. Keep her on a leash. I don't think a leash will cut it for Cozy, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by. I have to head out now, but thank y'all for joining me, and hopefully I'll see y'all within the next coming weeks. So have a good one, everyone. Take care. Bye.